Welcome back to 3+1 Media, where we talk about people, politics, and pop culture. And today in People, we are talking about Daniel Penny, the 26-year-old former Marine veteran who gained national attention following a controversial incident involving 30-year-old Jordan Neely on a New York subway in May of 2023. Witnesses reported that Neely was shouting and acting erratically, though accounts differed on whether his behavior was actually threatening. Penny intervened, placing Neely in a chokehold that lasted several minutes. And as a result, Neely lost consciousness and was later pronounced unalived, with the medical examiner ruling that the death was a homicide due to neck compression. Now, the focus of this video is not to necessarily debate and give commentary on the outcome of the Daniel Penny trial, although I will share some commentary from a few of my fellow content creators. My focus in this video is on sharing the implications of the president and vice president-elect of the United States inviting him to the annual Army-Navy game. Now, I know in order to get to that, I have to give some background. And in this situation, Penny was initially charged with second-degree manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide. And this is what Daniel Penny himself said in an interview.
A man came on, stumbled on. He appeared to be on drugs. The doors closed, and he ripped his jacket off and threw it at the people sitting down to my left. I was listening to music at the time, and he was yelling, so I took my headphones out to hear what he was yelling. And the three main threats that he repeated over and over was, "I'm going to kill you, I'm prepared to go to jail for life, and I'm willing to die." You know, this was a scary situation, and Mr. Neely came on. He was threatening. I'm 6'2", and he was taller than me. So it was, and there's a common misconception that Marines don't get scared. We're actually taught one of our core values is courage, and courage is not the absence of fear, but how you handle fear. And, you know, I was scared for myself, but I looked around, I saw women and children. He was yelling in their faces, saying these threats. I couldn't just sit still. Some people say that I was holding on to Mr. Neely for 15 minutes. This is not true. I mean, between stops is only a couple minutes. So the whole interaction lasted less than 5 minutes. Some people say I was trying to choke him to death, which is also not true. I was trying to restrain him. You can see in the video, there's a clear rise and fall of his chest, indicating that he's breathing. I'm trying to restrain him from him being able to carry out the threats. And then some people say that this was about race, which is absolutely ridiculous. I didn't see a black man threatening passengers. I saw a man threatening passengers, a lot of whom were people of color. The man who helped restrain Mr. Neely was a person of color. And then a few days after the incident, I read in the papers that a woman of color came out and called me a hero. I don't believe that I'm a hero, but she was one of those people that I was trying to protect. We were all scared. Mr. Neely was yelling in these passengers' faces, and they looked terrified. The reason why there was no video at the start of the altercation was because people were too afraid getting away from him. And the videos didn't start until they saw that situation was under control. I knew I had to act, and I acted in a way that would protect the other passengers, protect myself, and protect Mr. Neely. I used this hold to restrain him, and I did this by leaving my hand on top of his head to control his body. You can see in the video there's a clear rise and fall of his chest, indicating that he was still breathing. And I'm calibrating my grip based on the force that he's exerting. And I was trying to keep him on the ground until the police came. I was praying that the police would come and take this situation over. I didn't want to be put in that situation, but I couldn't just sit still and let him carry out these threats.
Now, is that what really happened? You know, to be honest, to be fair, only eyewitnesses know if that's actually how it happened. But Daniel Pennyman was found innocent. The trial started in late 2024, with the October 21st being the day the jury was seated. And after 5 days of deliberation, the jury acquitted Penny of criminally negligent homicide. This happened on December the 9th. The more serious manslaughter charge had actually been dismissed earlier due to jury deadlock. Now, this case has sparked intense debate over racial justice, public safety, and the handling of mental health crisis issues in New York City. Daniel Penny has become a nationally polarizing figure, with some viewing him as a hero who acted in self-defense, possibly saving other people, while others have criticized his actions as unjustified vigilantism. And that is what this content creator, Smack the Messenger, who you can find right here on YouTube, had to say.
Daniel Penny just got acquitted of the Jordan Neely unaliving, and we got to talk about it. Huh? Daniel Penny just got acquitted of the Jordan Neely unaliving, and we got to talk about it. First of all, I just want to say, it's one thing to have a hung jury and stuff like that, but this judge single-handedly just acquitted him of that charge. Now, not to mention, he was only looking at about 4 years because it was some type of unaliving that they had that honestly I don't understand, so I'm not even going to try to explain, because basically he was looking at only 4 years for unaliving a black man. That's how I'm going to put it, okay? Now, the panelists were hung at first, but the judge came in and decided, which I don't know how, that, he needs to be acquitted of this. If y'all don't remember, this was happened on this train where basically, I don't know if it was a mental thing. It was a bunch of different things that we're hearing, but they had to basically try to subdue him. At least that's what they think. Now, to the point where he wasn't breathing, I don't agree with that. And we've seen that too many times, so y'all already know where this is coming from. Now, the craziest part about it is that his family spoke and said, this is nothing but racism. And it's true. I don't know what else is it that we can say. But as of right now, Daniel Penny is acquitted. And honestly, I'm at a loss of words because I was wondering how this case was going to turn out. Time and time again, we see this. At some point, when is it enough? Sorry to bring y'all this bad news this morning, but I'm just updating y'all, man. I'm just a messenger.
And to be fair, let me also give you a different perspective from a black conservative.
Black folks, go home. Go home. You're coming out the woodworks. You want to protest. This man, Daniel Penny, was found not guilty by a jury of his peers. It was a makeup of men, women, black, white, Hispanic. It was a group of people. They couldn't come to a decision on whether to find this guy guilty, and rightfully so. That's all we've asked for in the past is that, listen, if someone kills a person, they should go through the due process. So you used to complain that people weren't arrested for killing black people. Now when someone's arrested, now you want to manipulate the narrative of, well, how come he wasn't found guilty? Well, he went through the due process. People found him not guilty. So go home. Number two, where was all this protest? You got a homeless man on the subway. All the man wanted was some food. That's what people said. Then feed him. Get him off the subway. If you care that much about him, find him a home. Make sure he's in a shelter, but get him off the subway. He's harassing people. He shouldn't be dancing around scaring women and children. Third point, his father comes out of the woodworks and says, I'm going to sue Daniel Penny. He wants to sue the guy when you haven't been in his life, his whole life. I think that's a little bit too late, and it's kind of disingenuous. Come on, you can't do that. Then someone came out and said, but I bet if Daniel Penny was a black man, he would have been found guilty. Yeah, but you wouldn't have known about it. For one, because we've normalized black men killing black men choking out black men shooting black men, so it wouldn't have made national news. The only reason this made national news is because a white man choked out a black man on the subway, and everybody knows about it. If a black man had choked out a black man on a New York City subway in Manhattan, we wouldn't even be talking about it.
The incident and subsequent trial drew attention from political figures, including President-elect Donald Trump and VP J.D. Vance. And that's the point of my commentary in this video. Following his acquittal, Penny was invited by Vice President-elect J.D. Vance to join Donald Trump in his suite at the Army-Navy football game that was held on December the 14th. Vance has gone on record describing Penny as a good guy and has criticized New York District Attorney Alvin Bragg for even prosecuting him in the first place. Penny's attendance at the high-profile event further solidified his status as a hero of the conservative class, of conservative circles, of people that have taken individuals like Kyle Rittenhouse and elevated him to the status of a certain kind of alt-right hero. It looks as though they're doing or want to do the exact same thing with with Daniel Penny. To me, this is clearly meant to send a message about the value of life and the value of freedom for those who take life. Well, a certain type of life. This isn't missed on me, and it isn't missed on former New York City Council member Jermaine Williams, who actually said this on some MSNBC show that I don't watch.
To sort of take Daniel Penny, take him to the Army-Navy football game, and put him up as a hero on a national level. How problematic do you see that as being?
It's very problematic and it's very dangerous because you're now conflating victims and heroes and what should be allowed in society. You should want someone to intervene if someone needs help. You should also say that you literally just should not be able to choke someone to death, even if it's unintentional, and have no consequences at all. Not the worst consequences, but no consequences. There is no one who's going to say that Jordan Neely wasn't failed every step of the way. But that's not what we're lifting up here.
How do we, as New Yorkers and as Americans, begin to address the other systemic failures that affected Jordan Neely and brought him to this point? What can we do?
One, I think we have to try to make sure we say and not or. And I think people have trouble doing that. And so it is clear that Daniel Penny may have not meant to do this, and he did. And if we had taken care of what Jordan Neely needed through many times in his life, we would not have gotten to this point. So perhaps instead of bringing Daniel Penny to a football game, we can come and discuss what resources New York City needs to address the chronically homeless and chronically mentally ill.
I agree with so much of what Williams said in this interview, so much, in a moment that should be about mental health and how systems fail people. Our elected leaders are lifting up the man who contributed to this man's death, to a man found innocent of a crime. He is innocent, but whose actions in self-defense or in the effort to save or help other people not cause harm results in loss of life, a loss that has divided America. And instead of issuing a statement expressing empathy, understanding, our leaders are partying it up at a football game, further dividing the American people by design. Further dividing the American people by design. Wahad Ali, creative director of the Left Hook Substack, said, choke an unarmed, mentally unstable black man to death on a subway who didn't touch anyone, who had a muffin in his pocket, and become valorized by MAGA and invited to the Army-Navy game by J.D. Vance. Great time for white rage and vigilante justice. Wu-Tang is for the children, said. Like clockwork with these clowns. Like clockwork with these clowns. Go kill an unarmed black man. Get invited to hang out with Trump in a suite at Army Navy. Welcome to America. Shake my head. It is unfortunate that we are here, but here we are. My thoughts and prayers go to the family of Jordan Neely, and I'm going to be honest with you, to the family of Daniel Penny. I don't believe that he intended to take a life or provide serious physical harm to a man. And now he has been put in a position where he will likely be used for the political gain of deplorables and deplorable people with deplorable beliefs in a way that no American should, no well-meaning American should. But, those are my thoughts. I want to, of course, know yours. What do you think about this situation and, even about kind of, I guess, my commentary? I hope that you're following. I hope that you have liked. I hope that you have subscribed, and I hope that you're sharing this with other people. I would appreciate all of the support as we continue to grow the channel, grow the platform, and give more consistency to what's happening on the YouTube channel. With that being said, I hope that you will be well, be blessed, and whatever you do, keep pushing. I'll see you soon.